He's
There we
trying.
go. Hey, we're live now.
Okay. Hey, something happened and it looked like we might have shut down for a second, but it says we're live. Boogie with the Bull, Wednesday morning, Caffeine, Dave Glovin and Randy Rhodes. Live on the Dave Glovin. Well, actually, no, it hasn't showed up on Facebook yet, on my Facebook, but that doesn't mean anything. It says we're live. So give me a second here. Sometimes you have to refresh my page before I can get in there and see it. Nope, I don't see it over there. Let me try it over here. Anyway, we are live. I just don't see it on my monitor that we're live. So give me just a second and we will try one other thing to see. Oh, I don't show that we're live, but it says we're live, so we're going to be live. Anyway, it's Boogie with the Bull, Monday morning caffeine. Wednesday morning caffeine, Dave Glovin, Randy Rhodes. A lot of things to talk about this morning. Gil Oz. Gil Oz, who is in Australia, sent me a link to a petition to help in Australia make sure they do not pass a big tech censorship bill that would allow big tech in Australia to censor anybody using big tech in Australia. And anyway, so that is on my profile. Go and read that if you don't think that big tech should be censoring anybody anywhere in the world, and at least be prepared that that bill could come here to the United States. Evidently, somewhere in California, Gavin Newsom, the governor out there, has decided to pass and implement something similar. I don't understand how, as governor of a state, he can pass something that supersedes the Constitution, because I was under the belief they're not allowed to do that. But I could be wrong. Out in California, I guess when you're the governor, you can do anything you want, I guess, and get away with it because you're a Democrat. If a Republican governor tried to pass it, which they wouldn't, but if a Republican governor tried to pass it, it wouldn't pass anyway. Okay, well, we're just going to go with we're live on Facebook and on YouTube because it shows that we're live on Facebook and on YouTube. But for some reason, I'm not able to see it on my Facebook. So other than that, we'll just go with the broadcast and we'll hope that it posts after the live is done. That was news that I had. If you watched Tuesday Night Live last night, 329 people watched it live. That's the largest it has ever had. And as of a few minutes ago, 516 people have watched it. And tomorrow night is Thursday Night Live, the sister broadcast, and hopefully more of you will tune in and get educated and entertained and possibly be on that broadcast too. If you want to be on Thursday Night Live, you need to let me know by 6 p.m. and you'll get a link at 6:45. Up to 9 other people besides me. A total of 10 people can be on a broadcast. But let's get back to the more important stuff. Randy, what's new and exciting and going on?
I try to catch the news here whenever I can. And it's like I've been saying forever, you don't know who you can trust as far as the news because they're all going to slant it the way they want you to see it. But I have to think, I have to think that the way it's looking, that Russia is getting their asses kicked. And I hate to say that, I really do. But with the technology they have, with the technology that the United States and the other countries like England and so forth have been providing to Ukraine for the war, well, it's no wonder, Russia's having this issue because essentially Russia is fighting, 24, 25 countries because all the NATO countries are providing everything that Ukraine needs short of actual soldiers that we're aware of. So the Russian military might, the manufacturing part of it, is not able to keep up with the replacement of the weapons that are being destroyed in combat. Uh, I think there are well over 500,000 soldiers dead on the Russian side, similar to Ukraine. Uh, Obviously, Ukraine, a smaller country, is going to start running short of manpower, start having to make use of women and maybe children or invalids, whereas Russia is still a nation of that you can have soldiers. But then you see news where it says that Russian men are hiding because they don't want to be recruited into the military. Russians, the men are being pulled off the streets and forced into combat. Uh, you don't know who to believe. This is what I'm going to believe, that Putin can't afford to lose this war, and to no avail. If it comes down to it, he will push that button that launches a nuclear missile or two. I know it's going to affect the country. I know it's going to affect the air quality, all that good stuff. It's going to wipe out a huge area. But for him to maintain power in his own country, he can't afford to lose this war against Ukraine, which was supposed to be a smaller, weaker nation. Uh, and as we all know, I mean, the Christian population is saying we're headed towards the end of the world. We're headed into a Revelation time period. The Bible tells us about the wars and the nations that are going to align and where the final conflict's going to take place and so forth. Uh, I mean, you have all this stuff in Israel, the exploding pagers. You know, Israel's being blamed for those pagers exploding in people's pockets and so forth. Well, who knows? I don't know. But all I can say, folks, is that my friend Ichabod and I have other friends who have been
You have
prep
friends.
who have been prepping for years now for the inevitable end of it all. And if you haven't started yet, folks, it's time to start putting food back. For fresh water, bottled water. Get yourself a generator to replace the power that you might lose the power grid goes down. We have to prepare for either the end of the world as we know it, a war that's going to come to our shores, or the fact that the Democrats will win this election and will open the gates completely to allow the illegals come into our country. And the next thing you and I know, we're going to have these illegals taking our homes from us because we happened to go on vacation and we came back to find out that they've taken up shop in your house. And there's no laws to protect you from that. People, we have to put our foot down somehow and say enough is enough, and uh, uh, tell the Democrats we're done with you. We're tired of what you're trying to do to our nation, and somehow we have got to get control. I don't know what's going to take. I really don't.
I think it's going to take the election of President Trump, but more and more, it may not look like that will happen. Two attempts now. One, a bullet hit him, didn't kill him, thank God. But
Yeah.
people are asking, and I don't really know the answer. How did he know that Trump was going to be there? Reports say that he hid in the woods after midnight, 2 a.m. something, and sat there. Well, I don't buy that. If that's what you're going to do, you're going to sit there, especially if you're wearing a pink shirt and holding a metal object that resembles a gun. It's hard to hide in the brush, wearing a pink T-shirt, somebody was going to notice it. And if anything, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe you were wearing a pink T-shirt so that your buddy saw you. Go ahead, Randy.
You know, I was just talking about Russia. I'm looking at the newsreel here. Ukraine hit what was supposed to be an indestructible Russian weapons depot by using the drones.
Yep.
And oh my God! I mean, this image of this mushroom cloud from the explosion. Oh my God! 30,000 tons of munitions blew up. This is going to hurt Russia. Russia's going to respond.
Actually, it's probably not going to hurt Russia because, like you said, maybe Russia will just drop a nuke that'll do a little bit of damage, not take out the whole country, but enough to bring this thing to an end. And realistically, as I've been saying for a while now, if Russia wanted this thing to end, regardless of what the world thinks about it, if Russia wanted it to end, they would have just ended it by now. My biggest thing is, like I said yesterday, I don't think that they're going to drop a nuke in Ukraine to end this because fallout gets into Poland. If they miss and they hit Poland,
I don't think they care.
I think they do care. I think they most certainly do care. They want to end this at some point, but this is a war where you want to be able to go in and immediately take over what you want. If you can do that, but if you drop a nuke, there really isn't anything there to take over. All you do is establish yourself as the East European superpower, which you are, and do so at a time where you know Biden's United States is a Ukrainian ally, but they're not going to drop a nuke on Russia. The United States is not going to drop a nuke on Russia to end the Russia-Ukraine war. They're not going to drop a nuke on Ukraine. They're not going to do anything. Why? Because Biden can't afford to get into another Afghanistan. The way I see it, he first off, he can't declare war. Congress has to declare war. The Republicans have the majority of the House. They're not going to declare war in Ukraine.
Well, I thought the president can take us into a war, but within a certain time frame, he has to get Congress's approval. Otherwise, he has to pull out.
I don't know if that is true. I don't know if that's true. Because once we're in there, what's to stop the president from lying and do whatever? Plus, we have to deploy troops to Ukraine. So it's obvious all of a sudden if a massive amount of U.S. troops and U.S. equipment is leaving the country, people are going to figure it's going to Ukraine. And the problem is by the time all that gets there, if Putin drops a nuke, the war's over. I personally don't think Biden is going to get involved in the war with Ukraine and Russia any more than supplying stuff to Ukraine. Maybe he's not going to supply enough to Ukraine to win the war. He's not going to do that because there's always the chance that Ukraine turns against us and uses what they got from us to team up with Russia and go after the United States, backfire in Biden. Plus, it's like 6 weeks before the end of his term.
And no one's seen him.
And, well, that doesn't mean anything. We have a Secretary of Defense. I believe that it would be totally ridiculous for the Secretary of Defense of the United States of America to think that we can win a war in Ukraine against Russia.
Oh, I think we could. I mean, if the United States sent troops into Ukraine to defend Ukraine, the additional troops on the ground will certainly turn the tide for Ukraine in a big way. Just that, what will Russia do? Will Russia,
It won't
you
be
know,
enough. It won't be enough. Putin's not stupid. He may be saying to people he had big losses because they managed to bomb him. It's a war. So what he's going to do is hustle up and grab as many non-nuclear bombs that he has and go over and just start beating the hell out of Ukraine.
okay, then what again? Here's the question I've asked of other topics. Why hasn't he done it? I mean, he's lost over 500,000
Because
soldiers.
it's a game. I don't think he's lost a 500,000 soldiers. I think Ukraine is Ukraine's propaganda ministry is making videos that makes it look like he's winning. I mean that they're winning because that's what the Ukrainian citizens need to see. They don't need to see that, Putin has his finger on the switch to launch nukes, or is going to authorize nukes being launched into Ukraine, because I think once Ukrainian people see that, it's over and it's done. And Trump says that he can settle this without the war continuing. So if that's true, maybe he needs to move it up and go and get Biden to send him to Russia and Ukraine as a representative of the United States and see if he can end it.
Well, how about this thought? Trump makes a phone call now. He brings the war to an end. The American people see him as a hero, and it helps him get the election.
Or it helps him get assassinated, and it doesn't or he loses the election because the Democrats steal it again or claim that Harris won. Because if that happens and he loses and Harris wins, Putin is just going to go back and bomb the hell out of Ukraine until it's done.
I know. I don't.
But Trump does. I mean, Putin doesn't respect Biden at all.
Well, no one respects Biden.
He's not going to negotiate a settlement with
Biden.
He's just not going to do it. He's not going to do it with Harris if Harris wins, primarily because she was Biden's vice president. She's responsible for the condition of the United States right now. I just don't see. I mean, short of Trump picking up the phone and calling Vladimir Putin and having Zelensky on the phone too and saying, "Hey, you're going to end it, and this is why you're going to end it." Blah 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 blah. Gets them both to agree, and within 24 hours, a ceasefire is up and it's done. All the Russians in Ukraine leave. I mean, all the Russian military in Ukraine leave.
No,
and Ukraine stops attacking Russia.
No, at this point, Russia needs to keep the territory that they've won in combat.
Well, but then again, that's a crock of crap and a personal attack from me to you, because Israel won the Gaza Strip and the West Bank in a war in 1967. And Palestinians since that point have been saying, we need a Palestinian homeland. Israel, you need to give back land that you won in a war.
No, they won it in war. It's their territory. It's their territory.
Right, but so Russia needs to pull its military fighting the war in Ukraine out of Ukraine. Ukraine needs to stop either making propaganda videos that show that they're bombing Russia and hitting Russia hard, or admit that Putin needs to admit that it's true, and they just need to pull out and accept to be neighbors. This is going to go on forever because Putin wants to bring Putin wants to recreate the USSR and bring everybody back into Russia, the US, which was the USSR. Gorbachev decided, no, if you don't want to be part of Russia anymore, you can become an independent nation. And that's what they all did.
I just think that Russia should keep the territory that they currently have won, reinforce it, put your boots on, like clamp down, walled off, whatever, create a new part of the Russia, get that land solidified that you won't lose it, and then start moving forward again, take more land. They should not give up what they want in battle.
But by the same token, does Ukraine have the right? They evidently blew up this 30 billion ton munition depot, so they won that. So does Ukraine have the right to go in there and
but it's not land
that's there that survived and bring it back?
It's not
to.
It's not
Ukraine?
land. It's not like that. No, it's not land. It's not like they have boots on the ground.
But they
hit it with drones.
Okay, but it doesn't matter.
Of course it does. There's a difference between
smart countries are going to send drones in to do their bombing, not send humans.
Right,
humans flying planes.
But at some point, you got to get your troops on the ground to seize the land, to take control of it. All you're doing right now is attacking from the air, and you don't own anything. You have to have your boots on the ground to seize the land and say, "This is mine," and you're not taking it from me.
It was theirs. Ukraine was free and independent of Russia, as are some other countries over there. They got their freedom. They broke away. They seceded from the Union. They're no longer part of Russia.
So you're saying that right now, with Russia sending troops into Alaska, that we should allow them to take back territory of Alaska?
No, they didn't win Alaska. They might have declared war against the United States. Well, they didn't declare war. They invaded Russia. Why? Because at some point because at some point they believed that Alaska, the land that is Alaska, belonged to Russia. Obviously, at some point that's not true, because somehow what is the land that is Russia, Alaska, became part of the United States. If they lost it in a war, no, they don't have a right to be there and try to take it back.
I just saw a news blurb saying that we're sending troops into Alaska to secure it better because of Russian
we need
troops.
We need you. But I don't think that Putin is smart enough, I don't think Putin is dumb enough to try to declare a war with the United States to reclaim Alaska.
But right now, with the way our government is, our government is so damn screwed up. Our military is a strong military, but it's the leadership that tells the soldiers where to go and how to fight. And right now, with our woke generals and admirals and the assholes in the White House, if we went to war, those are the ones who are calling the shots and directing our troops into the combat field. Okay. I think we would lose.
Well, we very well could lose because of that. But like Jerry said last night, you go into the military, you pledge yourself to the government. So you're not going to go in there and intentionally lose a war. The generals, the people that plan the war, that stage the war, that make the decisions, they're not going to go in. They're not going to go into that war to intentionally lose it.
You don't think so?
Yeah, because I don't think the United States military is going to lose a war with another country over a state. Because once Russia wins the state of Alaska, they're not going to stop there. They're going to go they're going to go into an all-out war. They're going to attack northern states. They're going to attack southern states. They're going to attack eastern states. They're going to attack western states. They're just going to try to close in and take us all. That will launch a world war. Should launch a world war because Russian allies are going to want to help Russia. United States allies, if we have any left, are going to want to help. Are going to want to help the United States.
But do you okay?
And no one, I don't think our allies, even our truest allies, are going to get involved in that war.
I don't think our allies would come to our aid at all for anything because of the lackluster support that we've been giving them right now. You know, like Taiwan and so forth, and the Philippines and Asia. You know, we've blew it as far as what a true ally is, and we shouldn't expect our allies to come to our defense. I mean, hell, they don't come to our defense.
Then in that case, the only way the United States could win a war against Russia for the state of Alaska would be to get into a nuclear war. And if the United States military is smart enough to know that you fight the battle in Alaska, but you go over to Russia and you nuke the hell out of Russia. You nuke them into submission. Every other country in the world, like I said, is going to get involved in the nuclear war, regardless of who they are allies with or not. Because if Kim Jong-un sees the United States firing every nuclear weapon they have at Russia, he's either going to take his one nuke that he has and fire it on Alaska or fire it on South Korea.
You're talking about North Korea.
North Korea will fire a nuke on South Korea in an attempt to take over South Korea once and for all.
No,
he will fire if he's allies with Russia, and if he's allies with Russia, he's going to probably fire his one nuke on the state of Alaska. That means the United States. Yes, that means the United States will go and bomb the hell out of North Korea.
North Korea, they have their one nuke. Because if I remember correctly seeing it, it said that a missile fired from North Korea to Hawaii can be there in like 34, 45, 50 seconds. Really quick.
So he'll fire it on Russia then because he can't get to Alaska.
He'd be a fool. North Korea be a fool to send a nuclear missile to Russia because they got nothing. Once they send that, that's it. They fired her.
No, as a Russian ally, he'll fire it into the United States. If it can't get to Hawaii to Alaska fast enough to help Russia, then he'll send it to Hawaii. That brings the United States, Russia, Alaska. The United States, Russia, and North Korea into a war. North Korea's allies, if they have any that have nukes, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to fire on the fastest point in the U.S. they can get it. Or worse, everybody will turn and fire on Israel, who is our biggest ally right now. We're going to have to get into that war and bomb everybody else to protect Israel, and it will be the nuclear war, and it'll be nuclear Armageddon. Forget about Trump getting assassinated and not winning. Forget about the November 5th election. Forget about Fox stealing it again at 3 a.m. on November 6th. We will go into nuclear Armageddon. Because Iran is going to fire on everybody because they don't know who. They're against everybody except maybe Russia and Afghanistan. Because they fund the Taliban, and the Taliban owns Afghanistan, and they the Israeli government is controlled by Hamas. So maybe they won't fire on Israel now because Hamas, Netanyahu isn't Hamas. He's the prime minister, but the Knesset, the Israeli Congress, the majority party is Hamas. So everybody's going to aim for the smaller countries that have one nuke are going to aim it into the United States at the first point it can hit. Why? Because that will damage the United States military's ability to fight Russia over Alaska. I don't think he's ever going to actually invade. He'll be out he won't come into U.S. territorial waters. He won't actually land and have troops invade Alaska. He won't do that. He'll sit out if we claim 13 miles from shore as territorial waters, he'll be out in 14 miles sitting there and not go beyond there. He won't fire anything on Alaska. I don't think, because I think he's smart enough to know that if he fires anything on Alaska, we will grab our fighter jets wherever they are in the world and start bombing the hell out of Russia. Non-nuclear hits, we'll just go over and start a line of fighters going in, dropping their bombs, leaving, the next one coming in, dropping their bombs. Our drones will do the same thing. I don't think, and Russia, who has a big seat on the UN Security Council, as does the United States, Russia will get dragged into the UN Security Council to explain to them why you attacked the state of Alaska.
And yeah, say it's none of your business. I did anyways.
Well, actually, no, you can't just say that. You just can't say that. The UN would probably condemn the attack on the state of Alaska by Russia, which means that the UN might help supply military and efforts to make sure Russia doesn't.
Why would the UN come to defend the United States? It never did it before. Anytime something happened,
the bottom line is, let me throw this next question. Putin is somewhere out near the state of Alaska with ships, submarines, whatever. Why hasn't he fired something on Alaska and declared war on Alaska? Why? Probably because we're in the middle of an election. He knows that there's a good chance that Trump could get reelected or might not get reelected, but he wants to wait. He wants to wait and see who wins the election. If Trump wins the election, he's not going to declare war on the state of Alaska because Trump has said to both Ukraine and Russia, I can settle this. We can meet, we can talk, we can work this out without having a war, without any country having a war, without any country dropping a bomb, dropping a nuke, dropping whatever. We can end this as gentlemen. Okay? He did that with Afghanistan. He agreed to a scheduled pullout of Afghanistan. Biden decided, no, I'm just going to pull out now because I'm Joe Biden and I'm the president now. Biggest mistake we ever made, because I'm sure Trump's pullout included removing the $85 billion worth of equipment that we didn't need there anymore. Then, and getting our military out, getting Afghans that worked with our military out, getting anybody in Afghanistan that wanted to leave and come to the United States out. And then the general was going to step onto the runway, start climbing the stairs to get on the big military plane leaving. Afghanistan, and go home. I don't think the Biden regime, for as long as they remain in office, is going to get into a war in Afghanistan over Afghanistan. Why? Because if they lose the election, the money stops. Ukraine doesn't get any more money. Trump's already said, I'm not sending money to Ukraine to keep this war going with Russia. I'm just not doing it. I'm not, whether or not they will be allowed to buy stuff from our defense industrial complex, that should happen too. If Trump is elected, no, you cannot buy weapons from the United States of America anymore to fight the war against Russia.
Well, we're running out of stuff ourselves because we've been sending shit of ours to Ukraine. I mean, we're reducing our ability to sustain a good fight.
That's correct. So that has to stop so that we can at least start restocking our stuff for when Russia invades Alaska. I mean, Putin's not stupid. If he wanted to take the United States, he'd do a scheduled hit of a bunch of important targets all at the same time. He wouldn't just send a firecracker into Alaska.
I just can't understand why. I just can't understand why a leader of a nation would be willing to sacrifice so many millions of his soldiers and so much of a large proportion of his military armor.
Well, what about the Ukrainian losses? Zelensky did the same thing. He sacrificed his people, his citizens, to whatever Russia did. And as you said earlier, if you go into a war and you win land, that land is yours. So by all intents, sakes, and purposes, Putin should set up a Russian embassy smack in the middle of the area that he won, build a border around it, and say, this is now Russia. You have to have a Ukrainian passport in order to travel into Russia, and you have to arrange permission to get into Russia before you can do it. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And Trump's solution, I'm sure, any land that Russia has won and could claim is now Russia is going to have to be given back. It's going to have to be given back. This is different than Palestine saying we want Gaza and the West Bank given to us because we deserve our own homeland. That's different because, like I said, Israel went to war with whoever, Egypt or whoever it was, in Palestinians in 1967 and won Gaza and the West Bank. They won the war. Palestinians and whatever country had that land acknowledged they lost that in the war. So, it's different. I'm just getting to the point where I believe that Armageddon, for those of you who believe you have to experience an Armageddon, is going to be a nuclear war because it will all out destroy the world. It won't be hellfire and brimstone. You climb up to the top of the Empire State Building and you jump off the building and you think you're going to die by the time you hit the ground. No, you're going to live in pain and whatever for eternity. But no.
Good God. What's going on? What's with the dogs?
Oh, they howl because two of them have separation anxiety and
I apologize.
There are three humans. No, there are 3 humans left, and they bark until they get tired of barking, and give it a rest, and then they start barking again. I put up with it. If it gets really bad, I will mute my mic when when I'm on a broadcast or on my broadcast, because it is what it is. This is my studio. I just like to.
Yeah.
They're in their studio doing their own podcast right now too. They always seem to do a podcast on Facebook the same time I'm doing one, and their studio isn't very soundproof.
But that's why, like we used to have a dog, okay, and we saved him. His name is Troy, and we went into the main league, and all the dogs are barking except for him. He was laying there. We knew he was old and he was overweight, and we knew he had health issues, but he was the quietest one there. The one, okay, we'll take him home. It took him about 2 days to realize that he had a new home, right?
Yep.
And he started protecting his house by, this dog's hearing. He could pick up someone walking from a block away. And he'll start barking. But we had him for only 2 years. He died of cancer. But he was the greatest dog in the world. I would love to have another dog, but we got all these damn cats now that we rescued from the sanctuary, and we can't do it. I mean, my God. If the HOA knew we had so many pets, we'd be screwed.
I do want to say one thing. Anybody that is watching the broadcast on Facebook, because it didn't actually look like it posted on my profile. If you go to my profile, under my profile picture, you see live, red banner with white lettering that says live. Tap that, and it will bring you into the broadcast. We might have lost when there was a hiccup, and we might have lost the live stream connection to Facebook at that time. But evidently it is here. So like I said, go to my profile, tap my profile picture. It'll bring you into the broadcast. You'll be in the live chat, and you can comment. I'm assuming that once we end and Restream sends the podcast to Facebook, hopefully it'll post. If it didn't, well, then it didn't. And I don't know who to blame. I'm not blaming Restream, but because there was a hiccup during the live stream, and it may not have properly connected to Facebook. But when we end at 11 o'clock, I will look to see if it does in fact post as a podcast, and then I will share it around as best as I can. This is the kind of stuff we talk about on Morning Caffeine, Monday and Wednesday, 10 o'clock. With me, usually Randy Rhodes is here. Sometimes Michael Anthony is here. Anybody else is welcome to join us. Tuesday and Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, we do the same thing. Like to have a panel of people and as many people watch as ever want to. Tuesday Night Live, since we started doing it, it's been about a year, I think, had its most watched live broadcast last night. 329 people watched it live. It was at 516 people have watched it total since. So our numbers are growing. I'd like to get it to where 1,000 people are watching us, 50,000 people. Like the other 5,999,999,999 other people on Facebook besides me to be watching it as well. So I apologize that you do have to go to my profile, tap my profile picture. It'll bring you into the broadcast. And hopefully when we are done at 11 o'clock and Restream sends it to Facebook, it does get posted. If not, then maybe we won't send it to Facebook anymore. We'll only send it to YouTube. You have to come over to YouTube and watch it there and share it to Facebook. Anyway, I don't know. I will be on the American Rebellion tonight. Jerry Michaels broadcast on Facebook and on Wimkin. I will be on tonight. I believe Jen Woodruff confirmed she will be on last night. She will be on tonight. I don't know, Randy, if you'll be there or not, but that's where I will be tonight. And
so, anyways,
we're
getting
messed
back,
up, Randy, aren't we? I mean, the
No,
world
yeah.
is just messed up.
Getting back to Alaska. So we sent 130 troops there, along with portable missile launchers, because of the increased Russian air incursions. They got some surface naval vessels close to coastline, plus some submarines. So I mean, this might just be Russia, keeping us on our toes, seeing how fast we respond, stuff like that. But
If anything, the truth is it's war games. It's war games, but Putin is letting everybody think he's going to invade Alaska.
Yeah.
But maybe the reality is it's just war games, because I can't. The United States wouldn't allow Russia to invade its airspace with fighter jets just for the hell of it. Oh, yeah, as long as you're here, sure, fly over the United States. Although they did with Chinese weather balloons that turned out to be reconnaissance balloons. So who knows? But realistically, I would believe that the United States military is not going to let Russia invade our sovereign airspace just because they want to. So there's got to be more going on.
What do you think is up with North Korea sending those helium-filled balloons with trash?
To the United States?
No, to South Korea.
Well, probably to get South Korea thinking they're the same thing. I mean, he's going to send them over there. What's he going to do? Send a rocket up to hit them to dump trash in South Korea?
Wouldn't it be a hell of a thing? You launch a missile up there to bring it down. You have all this bag full of shit come falling down on top of your people. Oh my God!
I mean, they will fight to stay two separate countries forever, and of course, Kim Jong is wants to reunite them as North Korea or just Korea.
Yeah, with him as the leadership.
With him as the leader, and it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And the world, I don't think, will let it happen. I don't think Russia would let it happen. I don't think China would let it happen. We have obligations to South Korea that we're not going to let it happen. So I don't think Kim Jong wants to get into a war with South Korea, knowing that his buddy Trump and the United States are allies of South Korea. And according to Trump, Kim Jong is an ally of his. So again, maybe he can work something out. I mean, maybe he can resolve Kim's issues with why South Korea should be North Korea, or the whole thing should just be Korea. I don't know, but
when Trump was in office, the world was a much safer place.
Yeah,
because everyone knew that if you stepped out of line, he was going to drop the mother of all bombs on your head.
Or he worked with his non-allies, respected them for who they are and the country that they are, and tried to resolve things peacefully. I mean, we bombed people, we sent drones in, we killed key terrorist bad guys, but and it's not hard it's not hard to find out if a person who is leading the military of a country that you're at war with, it's not hard to find their pager frequency if they're carrying a pager.
Yeah.
Like you said last night, why is anybody carrying a pager? You can't return a call with a pager. You can send a message to a phone, and then you can call that person. You can send that person a message on Facebook Messenger, then I can push a button and I can call you on the phone. So I don't, but if they are using pager technology, well, then great. It's probably cheaper to blow the hell out of a pager than it is to blow the hell out of the guy's iPhone.
Well, they're probably using pager because all they want is, to get that order to attack now. They don't need to talk. But they don't
need a pager to do it. Militaries have their own satellite radio network, satellite two-way communication networks. So I mean, there's ways to talk to troops in the field. There's ways to be in contact with troops in the field. But so I mean, I don't know. We're just messed up. I think more people are looking for a nuclear solution to this, thinking that it will resolve it, and it will resolve it once and for all, and everybody will love each other, and everybody will be happy. But
Dave, I got someone at my door. I gotta go.
Okay.
I got someone at my door.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
All right.
Find the lead part. There we go.
Yep. All right. Randy Rhodes, all roads lead to home genealogy. I'm sorry I got a little excited, but we're in a dangerous time. We're in a dangerous time as the United States of America. I don't think we are respected by other countries around the world. I don't think we are respected by our allies because of our current leadership, President Biden, Vice President Harris, the Democrat-controlled Senate. I don't think they care anymore. Biden won't be president in like 5 weeks. And if Harris is, we're expecting that it will be worse here in the United States. The government will seize and take control of the internet. The government will seize and take control of TV and radio. You'll only be allowed to use government internet to do things they want to give you access to. Facebook will be edited to only present what the government wants it to present. So will all other social media. You'll get social media reform, but it will be do what the government tells you to do on social media, and or you won't have access to it. This big ticket censorship or big tech censorship thing that could happen in Australia could be the tip of the iceberg. If it's passed and it's enacted in Australia, there's nothing to stop Joe Biden from thinking that it's okay to put it in effect here. Although he can't do it by executive order. He would have to go through the House and the Senate, and they'd have to agree on a bill, and then he'd have to sign it into law, and everyone who knows that it would violate the First Amendment to the Constitution would get it into the Supreme Court, and it would probably be shot down right now. Unless, of course, Harris and Walz are running the country. I think President Trump, owning Trump Media and Technology Group, the owners of Truth Social, are in a unique position to speak about this, although he won't because it's not really an important campaign issue. Well, it is freedom of speech and freedom of speech being maintained, and how social media has abused our rights, censored us illegally, restricted us, blocked us, hidden us from everybody on Facebook that they don't want to see us. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, the algorithms that block people from seeing Tuesday Night Live obviously allowed 329 people to watch it last night live, 516 people to watch it total as of the last time I checked. Michael Anthony is in the live chat on the Dave Glovin profile on Facebook. As I said, I'm not sure if this will post to Facebook. The live stream, meaning restream sending to my Facebook profile, should get posted as a podcast, hopefully, on my Facebook profile. But I don't know. There was a hiccup, and Restream claimed to have lost the connection to Facebook. But then sent me a message that the live stream was still going, so we kept the live stream going. But I don't know. It could be Facebook decided I had a great broadcast last night with a lot of people watching that they were going to mess up this one today to make sure that nobody watches. And I'll hold true to my guns. If it gets to a point where it's too hard to post Boogie with the Bull broadcasts on Facebook, we just won't post them on Facebook anymore. You'll have to go to YouTube for now and watch them on YouTube, unless YouTube, of course, blocks them, doesn't allow me to have them there anymore. Then we'll have to find someplace else. And there are other places that we can go that are conservative friendly that we can link to and still be on doing it. And it's sad that with all the things going on in the United States and around the world for the United States, that Meta Platforms Incorporated has to sabotage my broadcasts, where maybe 516 people have been able to watch last night, and I don't know how many people are watching tonight because it won't show it to me. I'm watching it on my profile. Like I said, I tapped my profile picture and it brought me into the live broadcast. I don't see it as a post on my profile, unless maybe it finally showed up. I'll go out and take a look. No, it didn't show up. So I'm not sure who's responsible for that. Like I said, there was a hiccup, and then as soon as the hiccup happened, Restream sent me a message to let me know that the live stream was still going and still going to Facebook. And I'm watching it on Facebook, but I'm not watching it on a post on my Facebook profile. Who knows? Who knows? And now it's gotten to the point where you have to believe that Facebook is guilty of censorship. Okay? You have to believe that Facebook is guilty of censorship because they didn't allow the post of the live stream to post on my Facebook profile. So where exactly it is, I don't know. Or as soon as I end the live broadcast, which you can watch on Facebook by tapping my profile picture, maybe that's it. Maybe we can only do lives on Facebook now. And if that happens, we'll continue to do the lives on Facebook. Hope everybody watches it on Facebook, but tell them to go to Tell them to share it while you're watching it. Share it all over Facebook. And the more people that watch it might get Facebook to reverse that if they're doing something. And I don't even want to accuse them of doing something, okay? I'm one guy who spends 18 hours a day on Facebook. Like I said, maybe I get a couple of hundred people to watch a broadcast. Maybe yesterday's broadcast, Tuesday Night Live, will hit 1,000 people watched, okay? I think we've had one broadcast. I forget which one it was. I think it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday in the evening with Michael Anthony that actually hit 1,300 people watched. You know, so I mean, I'm small potatoes. They really don't need to mess with me. Other than I'm using a platform that doesn't agree with me and trying to reach with people that don't agree with the platform of Meta and Facebook. Anyway, it's 11:04. I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you for watching. Please hit the share button if you can and share it everywhere you can on Facebook. All the conservative groups that you're in, that I'm in, that are my groups. You know, please share it. The only thing I can guess is that it won't post as a podcast when I'm done. And I'm sorry. If that happens, go over and watch the American Rebellion here on Facebook and on Wimkin at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. And I'll be there. Jen Woodruff will be there. Jerry Michaels, the host, will be there. And I don't know who else will be there. Sending prayers and blessings to President Trump, that while there are people out there gunning for him, that they don't hit him at all, and he survives to win the election and be inaugurated the 47th president of the United States. Because then I think a lot of people on the other side of the aisle, the shit is going to hit the fan. You know, the shit is going to hit the fan. And maybe the FCC, who has regulatory authority over the internet, will finally come down on Facebook and changes will be made. I don't want to see Facebook shut down. I really don't. I want to see them play by the same rules that everybody else has to play by and get in trouble for not playing by the same rules that everybody else has to play by. And just be the social media network that they legally should be. But anyway, 11:07. I'm Dave Logan. The only one I can thank for watching is Michael Anthony, because he's in the live chat on my profile right now. No one else came in, or it didn't show me that anybody else is watching. It was a heated discussion. I mean, it got a little tense between Randy and I, but that's because, you know, we're messed up as a country. Our government is messed up. Our government is messing us up. And it's time to take back our government. And the first step in taking that back is electing Donald Trump President of the United States on November 5th. Or by early voting if you can vote early. So anyway, the dogs are giving me a headache barking. And I did this broadcast entirely without caffeine, so I may get myself a cup of coffee, sit down and do the rest of my work on Facebook. But like I said, tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, here on Facebook and on Wimkin, you can watch the American Rebellion. And like I said, Jerry Michaels is the host. Everybody knows Jerry is the host. There may be some of his other co-hosts may join the broadcast tonight. I don't know. But Jen Woodruff, the homeschooling mom, will be there. Dave Glovin, Boogie with the Bull, will be there. And Boogie with the Bull is in the process of doing whatever we have to do with Wimkin to be able to live stream to Wimkin our broadcasts and try to grow a following over on Wimkin to the following that we're growing here on Facebook and the following that we hope one day to grow on YouTube. And we won't have these hiccups and technology twists just because Facebook doesn't want to hear me say what you need to understand or what other people need to understand. Okay? I'm not asking you to agree with me, agree to disagree with me, but hear what I say, hear what the people on the broadcast say, hear what the people in the live chat say, and then you decide for yourself. And if you decide the way I think you're going to decide, you're going to vote for Donald Trump for president, J.D. Vance for vice president. They're going to get in and have until 2028 to correct everything the Biden administration, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done to take this country down and make it even worse than it was when they took office in 2020. And now I heard last night, Jerry said, well, you know what? Big deal. If he wins in 2020, if he wins in 2024, he corrects everything that needed to be corrected. If they win in 2028, because he can't run again in 2028, if they win in 2028, they're just going to change it back. And the whole time Trump is president, they'll be planning how everything he corrects back to the way it was under him. They'll just make those and they'll change it. They'll change it either with a Democrat House or a Democrat Senate or a Democrat Super Congress. They'll just make sure that what he wants to change back doesn't get approved. And whatever he can do by executive order is only relevant until another president comes in and either keeps that executive order going or rips it up and says no. So we're just messed up. And I know you don't want to hear me say we're just messed up and tell you why we're messed up. Because Joe Biden, we don't even know if Joe Biden is still Joe Biden. We don't even know if the president is actually still Joe Biden. We don't even know if the Joe Biden you see saying they're Joe Biden is in fact really Joe Biden. You know? So think about that. Think about how the country was in the 4 years that Donald Trump was president, 2016 to 2020. Gas prices were down, a lot down from where they are now. Cost of food was less, much less. You didn't have to worry about things not being stocked at your favorite grocery store. You know, cost of diesel was down, so truck drivers, corporate trucking companies, and independent truck owner operators could afford to keep their trucks full of diesel and making deliveries all over the country. We can get back to that. We can turn on the Keystone XL pipeline. We can keep America working. can give tax breaks to corporations that deserve it, because hopefully they will take what they save in taxes and invest more in their businesses, have to hire more people, have to do whatever. Anyway, vote Trump, Vance 2024. But if you need to, vote Harris Walls 2024. The candidates of the End America As You Know It party. Vote for Jonathan Thomas, independent, running from the American Political Party, if that's what you think you need to do. I think about this all the time. Jonathan is running as an independent candidate. I don't know if he's actually on any ballots in any states, or whether or not you just have to write him in. But what if America, by majority, elected an independent? Think about that. Even play into the rumors for a second. What if Donald Trump actually does drop J.D. Vance, picks up Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which I don't think is going to happen. What might happen in an administration where the president is a Republican, the vice president, president of the Senate, is an independent, and maybe that combination serves everybody and respects everybody. But anyway, the dogs are giving me a headache. I did what I could do. Hour and 15 minutes. You've been watching Boogie with the Bull, Wednesday morning caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. You want to come on to a broadcast and disagree with anything I said or Randy said or would have been posted in the live chat, you're more than welcome to do that. If there is something you disagree with or want to come on and share your view on anything that we discussed or your view on anything, let me know. And you can join the live chat. You have to have a Facebook Messenger account because Restream doesn't have, like StreamYard does, a link to Messenger or a link that you can send out an email. So you have to have a, if you want to come on during a broadcast, you have to have Facebook Messenger because that way I can just open up Messenger and send you the link. It takes too much time to stop my hosting duties, open up Gmail, send you an email, and get you the link. Or I'll put the link on the screen, and you can always just copy that into your browser and come. But anyway, tonight, 7 p.m. on the American Rebellion, you'll see Jerry Michaels, Jen Woodruff, me, and hopefully a live chat full of people that are united in the fact that we are messed up as a country right now and we need to do something. I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat. So double V's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull.